Ever catch yourself watching a show and there's this like lingering shot, one that doesn't feel like it's pushing the story forward, and you're kind of like wondering, like, why is this here? Why are they showing me
Yeah,
this?
like it's almost like a mistake, but you know it can't be.
Exactly. Well, today we're diving into the first episode, the debut episode of a brand new series called Adolescence.
Ooh, new show. Okay, I'm interested.
And we're using like this really interesting review of the episode as our guide, our map for this deep dive.
Cool, cool. So not just a recap, but we're looking at how it's put together, the choices the filmmakers made.
You got it. And get this, the reviewer kind of uses this one episode to talk about like a bigger idea in art. It's this idea that the stuff that seems unnecessary, the details that don't scream plot,
Right.
can actually be what makes a story really hit you in the feels.
I think I get where you're going with this. Like those shows, like what was that one, The White Lotus, where they just kind of soak in the scenery or those quiet moments with characters.
Yes. Perfect example. This review is saying those parts aren't just filler, they're doing something crucial for the whole experience of watching it.
So that's our mission today, huh? Figure out how a crime show, something we think we know, gets flipped on its head and grabs us by doing something totally unexpected.
You nailed it. We're going to see how this specific episode connects to this whole idea of unnecessary stuff actually being totally necessary. And just to set the stage, the main thing that happens in the Adolescence premiere is, well, it's pretty heavy. This 13-year-old Jamie Miller gets arrested for murder.
Wow, okay, right out the gate, they're not messing around.
Nope, no easing into it. It opens with this super intense scene, like, boom, heavily armed police officers busting down the door of Jamie Miller's home. They're there to arrest him.
Whoa, I bet that was a pretty shocking way to start the episode.
Totally. So we meet these two detectives, Detective Inspector Luke Bascom and Detective Sergeant Misha Frank. They're leading this whole thing. And right away, Jamie is adamant. He's like, I've done nothing wrong. Keep saying it over and over. And in those first few minutes, you're watching and you don't actually see any hard proof that he did anything.
So right off the bat, they're setting up this feeling of doubt. You're not sure who to believe.
Exactly. Makes you feel uneasy.
Yeah.
You're mostly seeing things through Jamie's eyes, and he's clearly terrified.
Oh, I bet. I mean, a 13-year-old kid in that situation must
Yeah.
be absolutely terrifying.
Right. And then we meet his dad, Eddie. He's played by Stephen Graham, who's amazing in A Thousand Blows.
Oh, yeah, I loved him in that.
So good. And what's even more interesting is that Graham actually co-created and co-wrote Adolescence with this guy, Jack Thorne.
Oh, wow. So he's not just acting in it. He's really invested in the whole project.
Yeah, and that adds this whole other layer to thinking about the story, watching Eddie, the dad, dealing with this impossible situation with his son.
For sure. Like, he's bringing so much more to that role because of his personal connection to the story.
Okay, so let's get into what happens after the arrest. The review zeroes in on this big chunk of the episode where they're processing Jamie at the police station.
Okay, the procedural stuff.
Yeah, but it highlights this long stretch where he's just completely freaked out. I mean, totally in a state of panic.
Ah, man, that's got to be rough to watch.
He wets himself. He's sobbing uncontrollably, begging to go home, still saying he didn't do anything wrong. And this goes on for a good while, like a significant part of the episode. And as you're watching, you're just stuck in this uncomfortable space with him.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It's like they're deliberately making you feel that tension and helplessness.
Exactly. And it's during this whole extended period of Jamie just melting down that the detectives finally drop the bomb. They reveal what they've got on him.
Uh-oh. The evidence.
Yeah, the reviewer calls it the hammer drop. Out of nowhere, they bring out this security footage, and there it is, plain as day, Jamie stabbing someone named Katie to death.
Oh, wow. Okay, so case closed, right?
Well, the reviewer makes this really important point here. If all you cared about was like the basic plot, the whodunit, that's basically the end of the story. But they're saying that the art of adolescence, the really fascinating stuff, starts right there.
I see. So it's not a straight-up crime show. There's something more going on.
Totally. And it all comes down to this very deliberate and kind of weird choice they make in how they show us the story.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
So the big thing, the thing everyone's talking about, is that the entire episode is filmed in one unbroken shot.
Wait, what? The whole hour?
The whole thing. No edits, no cuts, nothing. Just one continuous take.
That's crazy. I mean, I've seen long takes in movies, like those directors who love them. What's his name? Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah.
But those are usually for, like, big spectacle moments, know? Crazy action, tons of people, making you feel like you're right there in the chaos.
And that's the key difference here. The reviewer is saying Adolescence isn't using this long take for that look at us kind of filmmaking.
So it's not about showing off how clever they are with the camera.
Nope. We're not seeing explosions or crazy stunts or even like big set changes. It's all the super ordinary parts of a police investigation. The raid on the house, the drive to the station, even just walking down hallways.
Wow. I can't even imagine how hard that must be to pull off, technically speaking.
Right, like the planning and coordination to film an entire episode like that must be insane.
It makes you wonder why they even bothered. I mean, if it's not about spectacle, then what's the point?
And this is where it gets really, really interesting. The reviewer argues that this continuous shot is creating something super important. Tedium.
Tedium. Like it's boring.
No, no, not in a bad way. They're saying this very specific kind of tedium is what makes the show so powerful. It's like you're forced to experience every single moment in real time. You can't skip ahead.
I think I kind of get it. Like, have you ever been in that situation, maybe waiting for big exam results or sitting in a courtroom or even just in a hospital waiting room where you know something huge is about to happen, something that could change everything, but you're stuck waiting?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the reviewer is talking about. It's this frustrating kind of boredom, but it's made worse because you're so stressed. Like your body's going haywire, but you can't do anything except wait.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's like the worst kind of limbo.
And Adolescence is putting you, the viewer, in that exact headspace. You have to experience every moment, even the tiny, seemingly pointless ones, in real time.
So it's not about being bored, it's about making you pay attention to all those little things, those details that usually get cut out, right?
Yes, and it makes the moments that are supposed to hit you emotionally land even harder. It's like they're playing with how you experience time.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together. So what are some of those tedious moments that the reviewer points out?
So there's this one, it's before the raid, and the detectives, Bascom and Frank, they're having this, like, awkward small talk.
Really? About what?
Oh, it's kind of gross. They're talking about Bascom's digestive problems.
Oh, yikes. I can see why they'd usually cut that out.
Right. But here, we're stuck with it. We have to hear it all. And then there are those long scenes with Jamie's family during the arrest.
Oh, man. I bet that's tough to watch.
Super intense. You see the absolute terror on their faces as these cops are swarming their house. And the camera doesn't flinch. It just stays with them.
Oh, wow. It sounds like they're really committed to making you feel like you're right there with them.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Then there's a drive to the station. Jamie is in the back of the car, just sobbing his heart out. And you're stuck in that car with him for the whole ride. And once they get to the station, it's all the processing, the questioning, the routine stuff, and it's all happening without a single cut. Even the boring parts, like walking down hallways, are shown in their entirety.
So they're not letting you escape any of it. You're trapped in that moment, in that time, with them.
Exactly. And the reviewer is saying, these moments, the stuff that usually ends up on the cutting room floor, are crucial. And makes you think, right, like, why? Why are these unnecessary details so important?
It's like they're trying to make a point.
And the point is, that tedium, that unbroken flow of time, it makes the moments of real human emotion hit you harder.
Like those little bursts of genuine feeling stand out more because of all the boring stuff around them.
Totally. So there's this part where this character, Barlow, he's telling Eddie that the police probably have some pretty damning evidence against Jamie. And Eddie just says, ta.
Like, thanks.
Yeah. It's this super small, casual thing, but the reviewer is saying it lands so heavy because of everything we've just witnessed.
Yeah.
Eddie's fear, his confusion, him just desperately trying to make sense of this nightmare.
Wow, I see what you mean. It's like that one tiny word suddenly carries all this emotional weight.
And then there's this thing Eddie keeps saying. He's worried about messing up the legal stuff, not knowing how to help Jamie. He says, I just don't want to get it wrong for my lad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, heartbreaking.
The reviewer's saying that because we've been forced to experience that whole frantic, confusing situation right alongside Eddie, his sheer terror in that moment just destroys you.
Man, they're really pulling out all the stops to get you invested in these characters.
Yeah, and there's this other moment. It's a close-up of Eddie's face while Jamie's getting strip searched.
Oh, God.
The reviewer's saying that shot is so powerful because of everything that came before it. Like, it's that unbroken timeline, that forced tedium that makes that moment just brutal.
It's like they've built up all this tension and then just release it all at once with that one shot.
Exactly. Now, the reviewer also makes this kind of controversial comparison. They talk about the criticism Game of Thrones got for that scene.
Oh, right. The one where,
Yeah, and how they focus on a male character's reaction to it.
yeah, I remember people were really upset about that.
The reviewer has some strong thoughts about that whole thing, but their main point is about the power of reaction shots and how in adolescence, our reaction as viewers is so much stronger because of the tedium and discomfort we've just been through with Eddie.
It's like they're saying, we've made you sit with this for an hour, now feel this.
Exactly. Okay, so the episode ends with this scene. It's Eddie. He sees that security footage, and he just recoils from Jamie.
Oh, man.
But then he demands an explanation, and then he hugs Jamie.
Wow. That's a lot to unpack.
So much. It's this really powerful, complicated moment of a father trying to deal with something that just breaks your heart.
I can't even imagine.
And the reviewer's big takeaway is that the camera, with this one long take, it just grabs you and forces you to go through this whole thing with the Miller family. You can't look away.
So they're not letting you off easy. They want you to feel it all.
Right. Which brings us back to the title of the review and this whole idea about unnecessary details in art. What seems like filler, the awkward conversations, the waiting, the walking down hallways, it's actually the most important stuff.
It's the foundation, the groundwork that makes the emotional stuff hit you harder.
Exactly. And the reviewer saying sometimes the real meaning, the stuff that really gets to you, it's in the spaces between the big plot points.
It's like life, you know? The big moments only mean so much because of all the little everyday moments that lead up to them.
So listener, the key takeaway for you is this. Adolescence is doing something really interesting with this whole long take thing. And it's not just a gimmick. It's about making you feel what these characters are feeling, making you experience time the way they're experiencing it.
And it makes you think, right, like what else have we been dismissing as unnecessary in art? Maybe there's more to those quiet moments, those lingering shots than we realize.
Maybe those are the moments where the real magic happens. So think about it, listener. What other examples can you think of where something that seemed unnecessary, maybe even boring, actually made the story better, more powerful?
Could be in a movie, a song, a book, anything. It's something to think about. Those unnecessary details might be the key to really connecting with a piece of art.
So yeah, keep that in mind the next time you're watching something and you feel that urge to skip ahead. Maybe those boring parts are the parts that matter the most.
Food for thought.
And on that note, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.